Alright, today I've got a bit of a dark poem today. Of course, sometimes they are always that, but I actually wrote this a good while back, before the pandemic, but I just haven't had the confidence to actually share this. Um, because it's a very difficult subject because the person I'm going to be talking about, we're not on very good terms. They're the kind of person that would essentially bleed you dry and then still try to find some way of, getting every last cent out of you just because they don't want to admit that they have a problem. All I can just say is that this poem is called the Karen poem. Called it something else, but I'm not entirely sure. Um, how sensitive certain people are, but everyone probably knows someone like this. Doesn't have to be anyone close, but it's like you just look across the crowd, you see them, instead of behaving the wrong way, you're thinking, don't trust them. So um, hopefully this will speak on quite a bit. Warning you now that there is going to be kind of a pretty long section in the middle. So if I kind of seem a little winded, that kind of explains a lot. Okay. I don't like talking about Mother Dear as she's been a nightmare from the darkest reaches of society. And it's been difficult talking about this person as heavy metal poisoning is a far smoother experience. He said, and it's not the first time someone so evil has taken human form to live a double life of saint and sinner in order to drain all the good from anyone unwise to the real evil. I'm sure at one point there was a kind lady, safe by the shadows and all was right with the world, filled with days in the sun where everyone's having a ball. Yet there was a descent into madness, giving rise to another vessel for the Queen of Spades to extend rule over the innocent land. So paradise can only belong to one person, yet requires the maintenance of everyone else, as such a person will declare to the world, put me on a pedestal because there's no one above me, and that has to be a demented joke, and you have to be fooling yourself badly to think you'll remain in a lofty position where anyone can become a fallen angel by landing face first on very hard reality. Some people think they can sail through life with the grace of a ballerina, yet they're built more akin to hippos and said with the same brutality towards competition, fueled by the lies that no one will be hurt, only to leave a lonely child, said, or more, watching in horror that a monster wasn't under a bed or in the closet, ready to pounce as its winner take all, regardless of countless previous friendships. Said needed to get into a favorable position to strike right away when there is a moment of silence, leaving even the boldest of adults feeling like a babe in the woods after the sun is set. One one problem said I had with my mother was that she loved to light up every chance she got instead of taking a little time to relax, said, and think she was sailing a boat on the river far from her troubles, albeit for a little while, without being snowblind to the needs of needs of others needing guidance. Some humans always need someone virtuous to look up to, like Captain America or Superman, to help endure the darkest of times. But my mother was after a man of miracles every waking moment, and so treading the heavy water of life won't sweep her under for a little while longer, while not caring about the future. And said, as her love in the midnight brings a new fool, thinking they can save the succubus. And it might have worked a long time ago, when love at first sight seemed to be the, the greatest feeling in the moment, because you can't see the home wrecker of tomorrow until it's too late and you learn the dangers of someone born for adventure, so where glory is scarcely shared. I pity those who have been snared by such traps without a renegade angel to step in at the ideal time before destiny yells to kiss your ass goodbye, and said, and that you're going to a dark, they said, to a dark place very far from the lights of prosperity, and into a life of servitude, in which perpetuating such cruelty is all in day's work for someone so contemptuous. They said, and never stop looking for another victim, lost in the crowd, unaware of the evil eyes scanning them to see what value can be squelched in little time to serve a woman wanting to be Miss America. It said, long after her glory is run down to a pile of ashes, while still demanding everyone do things my way, and no one get as hurt as badly. Only to learn, instead of another 10,000 ways for tranquility to come crashing down, like Icarus, going too close to the sun, and the greater good suffers for another defeated warrior. Instead, now to be one with everything, said meant to bring joy to those who find it hard to smile most days after they just fell in yet another session of sorrow, said from seeing the world isn't as bright as it used to be, and such a delay for relief is like waiting to hear the next verse of an unfinished song to ring out, instead, instead ring out, bringing smiles to the children of the land, instead provided the shadow of anyone like my mother is far from innocent eyes, so that the best of times belonging to humanity aren't in the distant past. So, while there's still time, rebel against evil and find your way out of the darkness. And don't worry, they said, if you don't meet the great expectations of everyone you know, as everyone is different in this strange rock called Earth. They said, and avoid sorrow when those those in power ask, what have they done to you? And said, after shining like a golden lark flying amongst the light of the dawn, dusk, and starriest nights. I know what you're thinking, but from a mother, I know she cares only about what can be done to make her life easier, and she'll be up for the next midnight ride instead of taking control of her own life to pay back some of the borrowed time not meant to be hers. So that if a better life can be achieved, it must start by tearing down the castle walls separating right from wrong. So when it's time for the grand finale, everyone can rest so much easier. So, for those kind of unaware, that was basically a tribute to Styx. I used quite a bit of their songs, although I do kind of wish I could have used something involving the angry man, but then again, that's pretty much the narrator, because I always try to have songs like that are pretty much, have two parts to their title, one line after another, but fooling yourself can be done in pretty much anything. So, uh, my mother's just not a very good person. She would be the kind of thing that says I did something, you know, after the fact. Like one time, she essentially, um, basically got her parents to basically pay for a whole bunch of products from school that she was supposed to be selling door to door from one of those stupid, fundraisers, and she didn't care. And one point, before I left my old home, she pretty much used up my college fund, to pay for rent and other things instead of getting a proper job. It was like she was donating her time to places rather than getting paid. It would be almost like saying, if someone would say, "Here's the money," there was like, "No." She was like, "No, no." I said, "I don't need the money." And the only thing she probably would have used it for was she was a pretty heavy smoker. One of those kind of people that could smoke, more than one pack a day. And I'm thinking, and I once did the math, and you could actually get some pretty decent college life if you essentially take all the money you would have essentially used for cigarettes in an entire year and just say, nope, we're not going to do this. It's like, this is the money we could have, for something, but, instead of for something else. But we're not on good things, and it's kind of ironic that she was born on March 15th. Beware the Ides of March, because she would definitely like kill everyone. It's like even all of her co-conspirators, just so that she would seem like she was the mastermind of everything. So hope everyone likes this. I'll try to have another poem by the end out by the end of the week. Wrote that after an interesting experience somewhere, and said someone helped me out. So said look forward to my next release, and y'all have a very good day.